Just gonna turn this off since it's intermission anyway.
Got it.
There, I turned it off. It's been turned off.
Good. Because we are going to talk about Face Off.
Well, I mean, it's fitting because we're doing hockey. Or there was hockey right there. Face off. Face off.
Alright, that's it. No more drugs for that man.
No more puns for that man. Everybody, and welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. We're back.
We did it.
We're back. It's been a couple weeks, but we are back.
It's been a month, I think.
It's better than ever. But
a couple weeks, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been at least 2 weeks. I know that much.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're back, and maybe better than ever. I don't know. We shall see how that goes. But how you doing?
Doing okay. How are you?
Doing well. You know, just living the daily grind. You know, as always. Yeah. But it's great to be back, and we're very excited for tonight's episode because tonight's episode is going to be. Well, first of all, actually, before I get into tonight's episode, I do want to start off, as always, by sending a special shout-out to our two sponsors. That would be Zyman Organizing and Wes Woodson. Obviously, two big friends of the show and sponsors for not just this show, but also Marvel at the Movies and the Sports Blitz. And yes, I know all three of our shows have kind of been in a bit of a lull lately, but that's okay. We're going to be sort of churning out more content in the near future, just busy schedules and stuff like that. You know, stuff happens. So,
well, we did have a new Marvel at the Movies.
You did, yeah.
In the
past week or two, yeah. So
definitely check that out, guys.
Yeah,
it's all about James Bond. Yay.
Yes, I did see that. So that is always exciting. But just again, want to give a big shout out to Wes and Zyman Organizing again. Definitely one great person and another great organization that you should follow and, use in terms of Zyman Organizing, you should definitely use them for all your organizing needs. So both links, as always, will be in the description. So as I was going to say before, tonight's episode is going to be kind of interesting because it's not going to be a sports-related episode.
What? Not a sports episode?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of shocking. I'm giving it a second for dramatic effect to sort of let it settle in to the folks at home that even though we're on a couch talking sports, the main theme of our episode is not going to be at all about sports. Again, just sort of
what?
Just bask and ponder in that statement right there.
It's going to be like,
Yeah. Let me put on but what we did want to do is we're actually going to turn tonight's episode into one giant episode of the Sue's Reviews. Because, see, Kyle and I, while we were on our little 2-week hiatus, we had the opportunity to go and take in a movie. It was the first time we kind of had been to a movie together in a while. So we went to a movie last week with some friends of ours. So shout out to the crew. You know who you are, the crew that joined us a week ago tonight, actually, at the good old Somerville Theater. We had a great time, great outing.
Awesome.
Yeah, just quite the blast.
Yeah, it's just a really good theater. If you guys ever
and the movie was a blast from the past, so there you go.
Yes,
that I actually never seen, but I'm very glad I actually got to see it because I had heard about it and seen clips of it, but I finally was glad I got to actually take in the full cinematic experience.
And it does star this man But no, it's not Con Air.
But what I wanted to do actually is because this is a giant episode of the Sue's Reviews, I'm actually going to turn it over to Kyle to kind of lead tonight's episode because, again, it was his idea to go to this, and again, it's the Sue's Reviews, so we got to have the Sue's lead the Sue's Reviews. So, Kyle, I'm going to turn the mic over to you, figuratively, because we don't actually have mics, but I'm going to,
Oh, yeah, where's the...
but I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can take us through tonight's episode of not On a Couch Talking Sports, but more On a Couch Talking Movies. Yes. So, take it away, my friend.
So, Robbie and I had the pleasure the other week of seeing the classic 1997 film, Face Off. Yes, the one featuring Travolta, nice, and Nicolas Cage. Sorry, John Travolta and Nicolas Cage as the two leads. And the movie, just to give you a quick, I won't give you guys the whole story because I want, for those of you who haven't seen it.
Spoiler alert.
You want to see the movie, yeah. You want to see the movie for yourself, and, you want to get all the good twists and surprises that, on your first viewing there. So, the basic premise of the movie is this FBI agent, Sean Archer, played by John Travolta, is chasing down this egomaniac terrorist, essentially, Castor Troy, played by Nicolas Cage. And the movie has a very kind of a very action-packed beginning where he's chasing him down. He finds out what he's doing, and there's this big epic chase scene. But then what happens is, in a bit of a twist of kind of fates, he finds out that the city's rigged to blow, but he has no way to get the information that he needs to find the bomb. So what he has to do is he has to basically trade places with Castor Troy. So he literally has to swap faces with him. And when Castor...
you just I don't mean to cut you off, but sort of one sort of fill-in here is that Castor Troy, at least as far as Archer knows, has died.
Oh yeah, or he's been he's either died. He's not sure whether he's died, but he definitely has been knocked out, and he's
in a coma.
He's in a coma. Yeah. So it starts off a very simple mission, but then what happens is Castor Troy eventually wakes up, and he finds out about the plan, and then he ends up taking Sean's face. So then what happens is it's just this big twist of they end up literally switching places, and what happens is it puts Sean Archer in a terrible position because now they think he's the real Castor Troy. And so, the infiltration mission basically went wrong, and so now he has to find a way to get his identity back from the fake Sean Archer, aka Castor Troy. So it's just a really great, it's just a really fun premise, and the movie's directed by John Woo, who has done a lot of other action movies, Hard Boiled, if you've seen the more kind of old school sort of action movies from the 80s with Chow Yun-Fat, and he's also directed the movies like Mission Possible 2, Paycheck, just to name a few there. So, but yeah, you know what? Let's just get into it. What did you think of it, Robbie?
I thought it was really good. I really enjoy. Like I said, I had seen clips of it, obviously through you and through certain YouTube videos that I've watched over the years, but honestly, I didn't quite know what to expect going into, because I didn't really know the exact premise of it going in, but just to experience it, and it really was one of those movies that it keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire time. I feel you just don't know what twist or turn is coming next. You just don't know how it's gonna end up. I will say my favorite scene in the movie, again, spoiler alert, is when they're in the prison. So Castor Troy, but it's not Castor Troy because it's Archer with Castor Troy's face.
Yeah.
Is in the prison, and he literally has just discovered from the brother of Castor Troy where the bomb is. So he's all happy and stuff like that. But then, of course, Castor Troy shows up with Sean Archer's face. I know it's very confusing.
Yeah.
Um, and like actually, so they bring Archer, aka Castor, into like an interrogation room or like this like dungeon looking room, and then Archer, aka Troy, is there, and like Sean Archer, she's just very confused and shocked and stuff like that. And the reason why it's my favorite scene is because it literally includes, I think, two of the most funniest lines from the entire movie. And I'm sure Kyle knows which two lines I'm talking about. Maybe he has an idea which two lines.
See anything you like?
No, it wasn't even that. It was the first one is he goes like, it's like looking in a mirror, only nods.
It's like
and then the other one
is
is he's kind of again. The other one is like Castor, who's in Archer's body, is kind of gloating or kind of like rubbing in his face. It's like, and while you're in here for the next 100 years, I just thought that line was like so funny and just so epic and just like, but no, I just thought, like I said, I just thought it was a great movie and just like. Just again, just the twists and the turns, and then you have Archer's family who's kind of like caught up in the middle of it, and like it just it was a great take is what it comes down to, and I'm glad I got to see because like I said, even though it does have some corniness, maybe a little bit of corniness to it. I think also at the same time, it definitely lends itself to sort of that action-packed, sort of chase, fugitive, whatever, crime, thriller, whatever you want to call it, which I thought was pretty cool. Like I said, I was on the edge of my seat for a lot of it, trying to figure out, like, okay, what's going to happen next? Like, is he going to say, you start off, like, as the movie starts off, you think it's going to go one way and, like, have one premise, and then all of a sudden, like, it just flips 180 degrees on its head, which I just thought was absolutely wild. So, no, overall, I thought it was a great movie, and just really enjoyed that I got to take it in.
Yeah, it's like you said, I agree. Like, it's a very fun movie to watch. And you got to understand, like, going into it, that it is gonna have its cheesy moments. It's from the late '90s. Like, a lot of the acting is very hammy, but I think that's what makes the movie really work. And it's a movie that's very much of the times in that way, kind of. I feel like you couldn't really make a movie exactly like that nowadays, because nowadays movies they take themselves so seriously a lot of the times, and I like it when you have a movie like Face Off that just I feel like it kind of knows what it is, and it just goes all the way with it, and it's just so much fun. It's just the action scenes are incredibly shot. There's definitely a lot of slow motion. That's to be expected with a lot of John Woo movies, including the slow motion doves flying around. When Nicolas Cage or John Travolta enter the scene, that's going to happen. It's just a director trademark of his. But and sometimes maybe there's a little too much slow motion, at least for more modern standards. But back then, this movie predated The Matrix, so The Matrix really I feel like kind of set the standard for like a lot of action movies. But before that, John Woo I feel like really had his standard going on too, and you can really see that in this movie where the shootouts are great, the fight scenes are great. It's a very well-paced movie, and it really does, it really puts you on that thrill ride of like what's going to happen next, like you said. And, you're right. You literally had no idea, like, how are these two going to get out of this kind of predicament? And it was just great. Like, I loved also seeing it's just a lot of fun seeing them switch roles like that, because Nick Cage is usually kind of the one who does the more hammy type of stuff, and Travolta is the one who is a little more serious. But just to kind of see them, like, you see their characters like that at the beginning, but then when you see that big switch off, it's just very brilliant because now Travolta has to kind of ham it up as, as the movie goes on, and Cage has to kind of like put his more serious face on, and I just love seeing that. Like, it was just so cool. And yeah, it just.
Well, it's kind of interesting how like each of them sort of like
Mhm.
also at least attempt to kind of blend themselves into like the other's role, so to speak, as it goes along as well.
Yeah.
Like Cage, as Castor Troy, who's really Archer, like he kind of tries to take on, like, at least in some aspects, that sort of bad guy role and kind of like use it to his advantage, and the same thing for Archer
Yeah.
as well, like, Archer, aka Troy, um, which I thought was really wild. Like I said, like I said before, I had no idea. Like, I went in, like, if I'm being completely honest, I went in, or not went in, like, to the movie. Like, when the movie started out, I thought it was going to be, like, sort of focused on, um, Archer's, like, quest to find the information, like, using Castor Troy's identity.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, like, when it just, like, flips, it's like, oh my gosh, like, all right, what's Archer gonna do now? Like, is he gonna be able to get out of prison? Like, is he gonna be able to convince people that he's really he's really Archer and not Troy? Like, how exactly is this gonna go? And yeah, I mean, it like I said, sort of those twists and those turns that like, if you haven't seen it before, which I hadn't, like, you just don't see coming. It's kind of like, oh, curveball, okay.
Yeah.
But so that was the big thing for me that I really enjoyed about it is, and to your point, is how they were able to kind of like both meld into each other's identities. Well, so keeping their sort of own identity intact, but also sort of use the other's identities to their advantage. I feel like throughout the film.
Yeah, and one of the brilliant aspects too is that from the beginning of the movie, you know what Sean Archer and his family life is like, but you don't really know as much about Castor Troy until kind of, I want to say, about midway through the movie and on. And I liked how they kind of showed both sides of, because I always like when a movie can show, like, the side of the villain, but the side of the good guy and also the side of the villain too. And you kind of see where Castor Troy is and, like, who his relations are and everything. And I found that very interesting too. And, like, so they really kind of give.
His brother was quite a character. Like, yeah. Castor's brother was quite a character.
Oh yeah. He was crazy. He was hysterical. I forget the actor who played him, but he did a really great job with that. And yeah, just a lot of it's just a great story. It's just really a lot of fun. And
that's right. Can I just say one thing again? Spoiler alert, people, if you have not seen it. This one part that kind of confused me a little bit was that it becomes clear that right around the time that, like, Castor shows up in Archer's body, or with Archer's face, like, that Castor's brother knows that, like, the Castor that's in the prison is not the real Castor. But what confused me was that, like, when Castor in Archer's body, like, shows up to, like, interrogate the quote unquote interrogate the brother, it seems like the brother, like, somehow already knows that it's Castor but in Archer's body, without really a whole lot of explanation as to how he knows that Castor is Archer now. Like, so that part confused me a little bit, but I mean,
yeah, I think there was a missing scene there where I think that was a little bit on the movie there where I think there was that. I think the movie kind of hinted that there was that scene where he told him that he was actually Castor in Sean Arthur's body, but I think the movie just kind of skipped ahead because it literally cut as soon as, like, they got to the FBI, the FBI interrogation room and everything. He was, like, fed this, like, incredible dinner, so it's like I feel like maybe that was, I don't know, the movie kind of like very quickly just kind of like skipped over that scene in a way. Like they didn't really show us that whole like reveal scene of yeah. So no, I think that's a very interesting point. Yeah, I think that was more on the movie's end where maybe they had the scene, they deleted it, or I don't know. Like, but yeah, it was a little confusing at that point, and I think
Yeah, that part was a little confused. It was just like you're just sitting there going like, wait, huh? Like, how's he know that you're you? And I mean, I know he's kind of paranoid to begin with, but like that's even kind of stretching it for that level of paranoia.
Yeah. It just kind of skipped ahead almost in a way. Like,
I did love the face, like the hand to the face that Archer does to like his kid.
Oh yeah, that's the constant theme of the movie. It's just like this. Oh my goodness, that it just had so many great scenes, so many great lines. Like that's why
the next 100 years.
It's like looking in a mirror, only not.
Yeah, and don't they like say? I forget. But like the part where like they actually like say "face off" in the movie "Face Off."
Yeah. Yeah, there's another spoiler. So
we're doing spoilers all over the place. So
there's a really funny scene where Castor, Sean Archer in Castor's body and everything. He goes back to he essentially trips out on these highly like crazy drugs, and he's just like he starts acting like really like ridiculous, but it's like Cage kind of doing his own like sort of method acting, I feel like. And there's this great scene where he's like, I want to find Sean, take his face off. It's so good. And then it just cuts to like one of his henchmen being like, okay, no more drugs for that guy. It's just a really great movie. Like, you guys have to see it.
Yeah, you really should. Yeah. I agree. No, it's really good. I give it 2 thumbs up ultimately.
Same.
So yeah,
just check it out any way you can.
Yeah. No, it was good. That's all I got on Face Off. You got anything else?
No, it's all good. Like if if you're just looking for a fun movie to watch either on a Friday night or anytime during the day, then just definitely check this out. So
very good. Yeah. No, we had a great time at the movie. Like I said, I was glad to be able to have been a part of it. So
yeah, that was fun.
So
Face Off.
Boom. Yes. Don't blow it up. So I did want to, obviously since we are on a couch talking sports, I didn't want to sort of do my final thoughts segment, which I usually do, and obviously sort of bring in a little bit of sports to tonight's episode.
just a flick, pepper flick.
Just a flick. And just say that it is a very exciting time right now in the Boston sports world, as you have both the Bruins and the Celtics in the playoffs currently. Like I said, just a very exciting time with the Bruins currently tied in their series with the Hurricanes 2-2, although the Bruins currently losing tonight in the third period of Game 5 is a best-of-7 series, so possibly you're going to be sort of facing elimination in the next game. We shall see. And then the Celtics picked up a big win last night in their Eastern Conference semifinal series with the Bucks to even that series up at 2, and they will play Game 5 in Boston tomorrow night, which is very exciting. So just wanted to say that it is a great time to be a Boston sports fan, as Kyle's phone buzzes in agreement. As Celtics and Bruins continue to battle for their playoff lives, and I just wish them all the best, as always, as they continue these playoff runs. So, you got anything else for the evening? Anything else for the episode?
No, I think that's. I think we summed up there.
Cool, yeah. No, it was a good episode, talking some movies and sprinkling in a little bit of sports there at the end. So, that is going to wrap it up for our next episode. I mean, wrap us up I think works too, but it's okay. Yeah. So, wanted to thank everybody as always for tuning in, and as always, you can find us right here on YouTube. Obviously, this is where you're watching us. But you can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And please, please, please show some love to the other 2/3 of our YouTube trilogy, that being Marvel at the Movies. A new episode was just released recently. And the Sports Blitz. I know it's been a while since there's been a new Sports Blitz episode. I get it. Just schedules have gone really hectic. So Doug and I are trying to find a time to get a new episode out. So as soon as it does, you all will probably be the first to know. So
cool.
Well, we'll be the first to know, but then you'll be the second to know after us. Again, big shout out Zyman Organizing and Wes Woodson, as always, for your continued friendship and sponsorship. So that is going to wrap up this edition of On a Couch Talking Sports, or in this case, On a Couch Talking Movies, which is really what it was tonight. But anyway, that's Kyle. I'm Robbie. We're on a couch. And
yes.
Yeah, in case you didn't know. And we will see you next time here on a Couch Talking Sports. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, Superman, double jeopardy.
I don't know.
Even you with your great speed can't stop both of them. Why, on the other hand, can with a detonator.
You merely...
Alright, Luther, where is it? Where's the detonator?
I ate it.
Why would he eat that? Anyways.